Shalom brothers and sisters. In this edition of Voice of Pentecost, we will discuss the Gospel and Law, an effort to understand two extraordinary works of God. There are various perspectives that emerge when we discuss the Gospel and Law. Some closely link the two. Others claim that we no longer need to read or study the law. Thus, today, we will uncover the truth and explore how Pentecostals in particular view the relationship between the Gospel and the law. First, let us examine the law. The origin of the law lies in the 10 Commandments that God gave to Moses on Mount Sinai. However, in reality there are 613 derivative or details laws stemming from the 10 Commandments. Even with these 613 laws, for long, Christians have divided the law into 3 categories. 1. Ceremonial law. This category governs the sacrificial system within the temple, including the operations of priests' feast days and regulations for offerings. The New Testament teaches that Jesus has fulfilled this ceremonial law. 2. Civil law. Similar to modern civil laws, these were judicial, customary, or case laws. Civil law and the law of the law is also true that were specific to the time, place, and culture of ancient Israel. For instance, Exodus 21 verse 15 commands that a child who strikes their parent must be put to death, as an application of the principle to honor one's father and mother. Clearly, such laws are not relevant to modern times, place, and culture. The principle of honoring parents remains, but penalties follow the laws of the land today. 3. Moral law. Reflecting God's holy and eternal character, this law transcends time and was in effect even before creation and the law of Moses itself. Second, the motive for giving the law. We must understand that the law given to Moses on Mount Sinai was not the starting point of God's covenant with humanity. The law was a continuation of God's covenant with Abraham. Through this covenant, God also demonstrated his love by delivering the Israelites from slavery in Egypt. Deuteronomy 7 verses 7 to 8 states, "The Lord did not set his love on you, choose you, because you were more in number than any other people, for you were the least of all people." Deuteronomy 7 verse 7. "But because the Lord loves you and because he would keep the oath which he swore to your fathers." Deuteronomy 7 verse 8. This verse shows the nuance of grace, favor, evident even in the Old Testament. In the preamble to the law, God reminds his people of the historical fact of who he is, the one who delivered Israel from slavery in Egypt, Exodus 20 verse 2. This was not due to their own efforts, but because of his love and his covenant with the patriarchs of Israel. Thus, we can affirm that the motive for giving the law is love and love. Third, is the law still relevant for Christians today? As explained earlier, the ceremonial law has been fulfilled by Christ as the atoning sacrifice, once and for all. The civil law was specific to the context of ancient Israel. However, the moral law reflects God's holy and eternal character. The moral law continues to serve important functions. First, to restrain sin. The moral law sets boundaries in life. Second, to judge sin. A person only understands their guilt when they know they have violated a law. Third, to teach righteous living. The moral law acts as a lamp, illuminating one's path to walk in holiness and truth. For these reasons, we believe the moral law remains relevant for Christians today. What about the law of love given by Jesus in the New Testament? Doesn't it replace the law? Stay tuned for the next edition of Voice of Pentecost titled, "Two Misconceptions About the Relationship Between the Gospel and the Law." Brothers and sisters, for a more in-depth explanation from our theology team, please click the link above or scan the available QR code. May the Lord Jesus bless you.